What is up, YouTube? That's here, bringing you guys another discussion video. We're talking a little bit more about the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee videos, and today we're basically going to be talking about the importance of these games, why they're coming out before Generation 8, why they're coming out on the Switch, when they're coming out, you know, the time of year they're coming out, and everything about these games, and why it's so important for the Pokemon series that these games are actually coming out when they're coming out and what they're actually trying to accomplish here. So we're going to be looking at some like GIFs and some other things I found on the internet, just because I need some sort of background thing to look at, because I can't really look at the video, it's totally copyrighted. So we're going to be looking at just, you know, a bunch of things that we're going to be analyzing a little bit and just talking, like I said, about the importance of these games. So these games are going to be the first real Pokemon RPG experience on the Switch, right? So think about it, the Switch when it launched a couple years ago, it was so big. It had last game's game of the year, and it pretty much is been seen to reignite the passion of gamers. If you think about the gaming scene as a whole, there's like PlayStation, there's Xbox, there's PC, and it almost seems like PlayStation 4 and Xbox, they're mostly made at like making money. If you think about all their like AAA games, a lot of them that have come out recently that come to mind are like, you know, I almost want to say they're more like cash cows. They keep on reprinting similar games, similar how Pokemon does it, but like let's look at like the Star Wars Battlefront game that came out. That game recently came out, and like microtransactions are all over it. There's microtransactions over a lot of AAA titles right now, and it's more or less seen as somewhat of like a cash grab, I think. Like personally, I see it as a cash grab, but for what Nintendo's been going for, I see Nintendo as being the one company with like the integrity to actually make games that people want to play, because games are supposed to be fun. You'll make money if you sell copies, not if you just, you know, put microtransactions in the game. And I'm not going to talk about the good or bad things about microtransactions. I think microtransactions in and itself are fine, but when you start impeding the gameplay with microtransactions and start taking away key features to implement more microtransactions, I think that's going to be a problem. So we're looking at these new Pokemon games, the Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee games, and the first thing I want to talk about, really, I know I've already talked about a few things, but another thing I want to talk about is that let's look at the target audience for these games. Who are these games aimed at? The first thing we're probably going to talk about is the fact that it's in Kanto again, and I've seen a lot of people on Twitter, on social media, are really upset that it's in Kanto. And personally, I have no problem with it being in Kanto. I'm not one of those fabled Gen 1ers, but it being in Kanto is actually really important. So let's think about the last time we actually went to Kanto. The last time we went to Kanto was in Fire Red and Leaf Green, and that was years ago back on the Game Boy Advance. I don't remember the exact date that came out, but it's been a hot minute since we've actually been back into Kanto. And anyone who's kept up with the Pokemon series knows that, like, knows everything about Kanto. You know Kanto better than your hometown probably if you've been playing the series since Gen 1, because we've had so many games there. But the target audience for this game hasn't been to Kanto. The target audience for this game are like the 10-year-olds, around the 10-year-old age, like, you know, maybe a little bit younger, maybe a little bit older. Those people, unless they've went and replayed Fire Red, or, you know, they've replayed the virtual consoles things that came out on like the, what is it, on the Game Boy Advance, unless they've replayed those, they haven't really been to Kanto. And even if they did play them, did they get like an experience that they'd be able to relate to? I know as a lot of like us older gamers, we can relate to Kanto because we played it in our childhood. There's a nostalgic you know, tie into Kanto that we can totally relate to. But a lot of these newer players, them playing like a Game Boy game for the first time, like the graphics just aren't going to hold up. It's not going to be that Pokemon experience that Nintendo's really trying to aim for. So they're going to try to recreate that nostalgia experience for a whole new generation of fans. That's why we're taking this game as more of like a casual, like, glide through Kanto, I think. I think we're going to be looking at much more of a like Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Coliseum-esque, you know, just casual glide. I think it's not going to be as stressful as a regular Pokemon game. It's more about building a bond with your partner, building that nostalgic thing that, you know, Nintendo can build on in future games. So, just looking at a few more of these things, you know, you got Pikachu Eevee, it's obviously based off Yellow version, but the target audience for this game is kids, right? This is obviously going to be a kids version of Pokemon. They're testing the waters here to see what things stick on the Switch and what things don't stick. So if, like, let's say people really liked the Pokemon Go feature with the throw the Pokeball, who knows, the next games might just have that. They might actually just take out Wild Battles if it's that successful, or if it flops so hard, they'll just completely go away from it. I think, like I said, Nintendo is using this as an experiment to see what is actually going to do well on the Switch, to see, you know, I think this is great. I think it's great. It's like think of this game, if you're a newer player and you're like, should I buy this game? I don't really know. Think about this game as like a $50 open beta that you have to like pay to get into, because it's pretty much just going to be testing Pokemon on the Switch. And I know I've been going back to this like whole thing over and over and over again, but like I said, made for kids, right? It's totally made for kids. So if you got, you know, let's say 7 to 16, that's probably the age bracket that I'm looking at here, that this is the target audience for. Those are the kids that have parents in their, well, like early 30s, maybe late 20s, depending on how early you started, but early 30s to mid to late 40s, right? Those are the people that are in my generation that like originally played the Pokemon games when they were old enough to completely comprehend it, and those are the people that have the money to buy the Switches. So since those people have the money to buy the Switches for their children, this game is obviously going to be like, hey, you played Pokemon back when you were a kid. Don't you want your kid to have the exact same experience you had, but better? Tell you what, you can play with them because this is a 2-player game. Don't you want to play Pokemon with your kid, re-experience for yourself and re-experience with your child, and like build just everything? This is totally made at parents and kids. We are going to be getting core games in 2019, but just look at it. It's a family game. Like, hold on. I got family. It's a family game. This is like, it's pointed at, like, these are 2 kids playing. Get it for your children. Like, this is the first co-op Pokemon game, and it's made to be marketed that way. If they can hook people with this game and get a bunch of new fans, the next game will most definitely, the core title in 2019, I would not have a problem, or there's no way that game isn't going to get Game of the Year. If it builds off what Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu start and improves upon it, there's no way it's not going to get Game of the Year. I mean, it just has, it's doing everything right, I think, and I can't wait to play it. I was talking in my video I made the other day about how I really haven't been excited for a Pokemon game since Gen 5? Gen 5 was the last time I was experienced, and that was because I was like super serious in battles. So this one, like, look at the graphics. These graphics are sick. Like, and they brought back a lot of like fan favorite things, like your Pokemon can like follow you and stuff like that. That's like a major thing for a lot of people. You'd be surprised. Like the casual base, like they cannot get enough of their Pokemon following them. Like that is just the bee's knees, and they eat that stuff up. They can't wait to see the pixel of Gengar or Electrode, whatever, just following them around. Like that's what they dig. Like I'm being like a little sarcastic here. I mean, I think that's cool, but that's not why I play Pokemon games. But it harkens back to this being a copy of Yellow version, which is, you know, just a whole nother nostalgia trip over and over again. And I actually skipped Heart Gold and Soul Silver, so like, because that wasn't really my thing. And originally, you didn't really need Heart Gold and Soul Silver to play competitive. You could still just stick with Pearl, because that was Gen 4. But that's a whole nother topic for another day. We're still talking about like the importance of this game, and the importance of this game is to build a whole new generation of Pokemon fans for Nintendo going forward. Obviously, the Switch is selling much better than Pokemon or Nintendo or anyone would have ever thought possible. I think it's selling amazingly. It has to do a lot with the price, and it has to do with how they've released their games, the order they've released their games, their schedule, their use of like third-party, you know, developers and stuff like that. It's all been on point. It just needs one more little thing to push it over to being like the best thing ever for gamers ever. And like I already said, Nintendo is, I think, the one true company that's catering to gamers right now, and I just think they're doing everything right. So I want to know what you guys think about my little thought here. Obviously, it's total common sense once you sit back and think about it, but I want to know what you guys think. I think the importance of this game is creating a whole new generation of fans, because it's cool that Nintendo has us older fans, but remember, like, they got to make that money, and they can't just keep selling the older fans copies of Kanto. They got to start marketing to their children now. So that's pretty much what this is for, I think. Hopefully you guys think the same way. Hopefully you guys are excited about these games. I'm actually pretty excited. It should just be a lot of fun. Like, oh, and I haven't even talked about how this interlinks with Pokemon Go at all. Like, I'm one of those people that still actually plays Pokemon Go. Like, I work at Starbucks. I put that little Pokemon Go Plus wristwatch thing. I put that on my apron. I press it every 5 minutes. It gets a Pokeball. It's got your Pokemon. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty good. So, like, interacting with Pokemon Go, like, there's a huge player base. I'm not even kidding. There's a huge player base of people that just play Pokemon Go, that, like, don't really play all the other games. Like, I've met a lot. I've gone to a lot of, like, raids and stuff like that, and you'd be surprised the amount of people that do Pokemon Go stuff that don't really interact with other games. And this is their shot, because they think, like, I don't want to get into Pokemon. There's so many generations. They're on like Black and White. They're on X and Y. There's 8 generations or whatever. I can't start now. And they don't want to buy the system to do it, but if they're inclined to get a system that interacts with their Switch, which interacts with their Pokemon Go, they're probably just going to think about it as like an additional booster to their Pokemon Go, and they're probably just going to eat that up. So, and Nintendo's doing everything right with this. And if they do continue to build on everything that they can learn from this one, the next game's gonna be something pretty special, I think. I mean, I know that I do mostly a VGC channel here, and a lot of people want to hear me talk about these games and its significance in VGC. I mean, let me see what we're looking at here. Like, we were looking at, I'm pretty sure I had, like, this picture shows that, like, it shows, like, the potential of doing double battles and stuff, and I know I had, like, a GIF somewhere of more battles and, like, showing moves and stuff like that. Let's see if I can find it. This one, yeah. So you can see, like, your Pokemons have, like, moves and stuff like that. I know a lot of people want to hear me talk about VGC. I think VGC is going to be just fine. For those of you interested in my opinion on VGC, next season is going to be Ubers, which is how it was in 2016. It's how it was in 2011. I think it was 2011. Or, sorry, not 2011. 2010. 2010. So sorry about that. So 2010, obviously it's the least favorite format. If we can, as a community, manage to weather the storm through that, we will be able to make it to the promised land of Generation 8. And hopefully this game will be... we'll do a pretty good job in collecting a whole new player base. I think it's just up to us as a VGC community to foster all these people that want to come and learn the correct way. Not try and be super elitist, not try and, you know, say we're the best or anything like that. We have to welcome them as friends. And that's the thing. Like, we have to try and build the community more than we have in past years, because this is our one shot. Like, this is our one reset button that we're going to get for, like, the next... I mean, I dare say, all the people that play VGC now, probably only a handful of them will probably be left when the next big chance comes, probably in like 8 or 9 years, if there even is another one. This is our one chance to turn it around and get a really big, good, healthy community going for good. So let me know what you guys think about these topics in the comments below. I'm definitely interested in hearing what you guys have to say. You guys can also let me know what game you're going to get. Are you going to get both? Are you guys going to get the Let's Go Eevee or Let's Go Pikachu? I think I might get Eevee, because I was always jealous of Gary getting an Eevee, but I'm pretty excited about these games. I'm probably going to play them. That's one of the reasons I got a Switch, was just because I knew that there was going to be an inevitable Pokemon game out for it. So hopefully you guys like this video. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.